Reverend Kate was talking about basket of goodies, and we talked about that. The week before, I was talking about money, which, money is God in action. Money's always acting in my life. So it's been an interesting week. Well, I should say eventful. I mean, I went home on Sunday and Biden was stepping away from the presidency, and we have a new person running for president, and it just seemed like it's been one of those weeks, lots of activity, and I'm continuing to look at prosperity. And I'm amazed, we're such a wealthy nation. We are so prosperous. We have mentality of prosperity. And just want to talk about how do we claim our good. And again, consciousness is the key here. But first, a couple of jokes. Lighten this room up. How do religious fish always start off their prayers? Dear cod. What is the best music to listen to when you go fishing? Something really catchy. So last week, again, Reverend Kate reminded us all, religious science is not a get-rich-quick philosophy. We don't take what we want, we attract that which is like us internally. And we have in our feeling, we have an understanding of abundance, and abundance of health and love, giving to one another. Abundance is life. I look at this, thank you, Melissa, and I think, where is there lack? Does nature lack? No. Does the universe lack? How did we create this lack in our life? Prosperity, sometimes people think it's only money. No, it's so much more. Prosperity is love and friendships and money and time. You're prosperous to have time and adventures, vacations, tangibles, intangibles. Robert and I had this little argument. How do you define prosperity from abundance? And I think we kind of both agreed prosperity is often seen as an effect of having a consciousness of abundance. So put that one to rest. But, do you believe in lack? Do you believe the universe is somehow limited? It's expanding at 186,000 miles per second, the speed of light. The universe is expanding, there's more and there's more. And Michael Beckwith found this quote from him. He said, there's a lie. There is a lie that acts like a virus within the mind of humanity. That lie is there's not enough good to go around. There's lack, there's limitation, and there's just not enough. No, the truth is that there's more than enough good to go around. There's more than enough creative ideas. There's more than enough power, more than enough love, more than enough joy. All this begins to come through a mind that is aware of its own infinite nature. There is enough for everyone. And if you believe it, you'll see it. If you act from it, it will show up for you. That's the truth. So do you say yes? Do you say yes to the universe? Do you open up more and more, greater and greater? Ernest Holmes said, good is locked. It's locked to the ignorant. The key to this door is held in the mind of intelligence working in accordance with universal law. The realization that good is universal and that as much good as an individual is able to incorporate in one's life is theirs to use is what constitutes the science of mind and spirit. That's what he originally named it, was the science of mind and spirit back in the 1920s. He went on to say, the original life is infinite. You're infinite. It's good. It's filled with peace. It is one of the essence of purity. It is the ultimate of intelligence, its power, its law, its life. It is in us. Ernest went on to say, I perceive that because I am what I am, because of the infinite thing that overshadows eternity and finds its abiding place in me, I know that good is now mine. All good. How much can you have? As much as you can believe. How much can you see? How much can you accept? How much can you create? So, do you remember the story of the loaves and fishes in the Bible? Jesus didn't believe in limitation. He wasn't limited. So he goes and he asks his kid, okay, what do you got in your bag? And the kid says, well, I got 2 fish, I got a piece of cheese, I got a little piece of bread. Jesus says, great, feed everybody. And it grew. And whether it was a metaphor or whether other people it miraculously grew or other people shared, it was this experience of no limitation, no boundaries, just totally prosperous. Psalms 23 says, only good and loving kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. I say that sometimes to myself when I'm feeling a little down. But eliminate from your thinking that there is a power for evil as opposed to a power for good. There's only one. There's only one unity. We're all one. We're not separate. Spirit can only work for us by working through us. So let's accept more good today than we did yesterday. We have to say yes. Reap a harvest of fulfilled dreams. Good is without bounds. It's unlimited. It's expanding. We're surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness. We're swimming in it. That's why I did a joke about fish, because I want to talk about fish a little. But do you remember the class we took, we taught on mental equivalence, and we were talking about if you want a certain good, you create it first in your mind. And it's kind of like spiritual jello, just kind of comes in. You create the mold, and the spiritual jello fills the mold for you. And there are some other tools, just a little reminder, spiritual mind treatment, most important tool, and affirmative prayer, because it's constructive. And, we pray opposite to what I was taught as a child, which is, we don't pray about, oh, please God, I'm afraid, help me, save me, clear away my pneumonia, as an example. No, we pray in the positive. I am one with spirit. I am one with healing. I am healed and whole. I affirm my unity. This is constructive. This is constructive thinking. It blesses. It basically allows us to expand our consciousness. So we have to align ourselves with that power. Another technique that we use a lot is, I do this. I try to write it out. God is thinking through me, not what someone has told you need to think about. So let me explain that. What that means is sometimes I'm in a situation, I say, okay, what would Ernest Holmes have said? What would he have done? What would Gisela have done? I sometimes think of Gisela, another minister friend. Sometimes I think, well, what would Jesus have done? What would he do in this situation? And then I realize, hey, we're all one, and I allow this power to come through me. I know perfection. I know health. I know joy. I know creativity. I know wealth. It's there for me. Another thing we did, remember last year we did visualization, and we visualized, and we created these little boards for ourselves with symbols of love, prosperity, health, different symbols. And if you still have your boards, still look at them. Okay. Well, that's something you can do. Visually reinforce. And affirmations, affirmations are a way of speaking your word for good. And visioning, I go back with process for listening to intuition. Forgiveness and gratitude, And today I woke up and I was just grateful for my dog of 16 years. She was a sweetheart. So I think if we can remember some of these tools, we're not going to get stuck. I don't know if some of you heard of Swami Vivekananda. He was the first Swami. He was called America's first Swami. He came to the U.S. during, there was a fair, a Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893. And the Fillmores went to that too and kind of introduced him to the movement and the New Thought movement. That's when he first came in. He basically said, all differences in this world are of degree, not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything. Oneness is the secret of everything. Ernest Holmes said, if your eye is single, you shall be filled with light. That is when we perceive the unity of good. We must trust absolutely in the law of God to bring about any desired end. So keep your eyes single. Okay, here's a fish story. Why are fish so smart? Because they live in schools. Well, this is a once upon a time. There was a little fish. There were a lot of fish. There was a school. And they were living in a shallow, warm place. One of my favorite places is French Polynesia, Maurene, the island of Maurene. It's gorgeous. And it's got like a volcanic mountain in this beautiful blue lagoon. So every fish in the lagoon had been born there, remaining separated from the vast sea, fearing to venture too far beyond the safety of the reef because of the legend of the lagoon, stories of the mysterious, great infinite ocean, of those who followed the call but never returned. So the legend made leaving the lagoon difficult. Well, the young fish attended school, getting ready for the big graduation. They decided then they would follow the call of the deep. Well, one day, that day came, and their teacher, Master Morhara, gave them an assignment. He said, your task is to discover the secret of life. Within that secret is a life of wholeness, of abundance, where you'll learn to not only survive, but to thrive. For yourself and every other fish in the sea, you must determine how you will use that which you discover to create a life of purpose and fulfillment, a life worth living. If you have the courage and faith to discover the secret, you will transcend the confines of the lagoon and find the greatest joy. And here's what he said. What you're looking for, you're looking with. Ernest said that too. Acting as one body, all the fish swam out past the reef into the great, vast, mysterious ocean, eager to find the secret to life. Immediately, many fish felt tentative about venturing out beyond the known. The great infinite ocean seemed so big, and it had no boundaries, and it had no beginning and no ending, and it went on forever. So out of their collective fear, they gave up, and acting as one body, they turned and went back to the shallow little lagoon. except one fish, which I call Splash. Splash felt different. She knew she was being called to the mystery and depth of the great infinite ocean, and she followed her heart on a quest to discover the secret of life. So time passed. The other fish wondered what happened to Splash. One day she returns, and she reports back to Master Mohara. She had changed. They said, "What have you learned?" Well, she said, "As I swam through the great infinite ocean, I realized how comfortable I was. And I knew that my oneness with the great infinite ocean, I knew it. I was born imbued with its essence. I'm swimming in it. So are all of you. It's all about freedom because we're one with the water that is present everywhere. We can use it to go anywhere, to do anything we desire. And contained in the water is everything we need. There's more than enough for every fish in this sea." So, the moral of the story, you're swimming in it. You're swimming in it. You know, you are immersed in it. You're immersed in your good. And, you know, how much do you want to use? How much are you open to use? So, a little thing about language. Sometimes we say, "Oh, I'm good. Oh, that's good. Oh, he's good." You know, sometimes we do the opposite. You know, "Oh, that's bad." And we want to always contrast. So we say, "Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, so sorry. That's horrible." You know, it's like we want to put labels. It's all good. It's all good. It's all God. So remember, Kate said it earlier, there's a power for good greater than we are, and we can use it. It's not a power for evil. Can you conceive of more good today than you did yesterday? Yes. Yes. Can you accept more good into your life? Do you believe you are worthy? Yes. So, what does your good look like? Now, I've told this story before, but I like it. Out of the mouths of babes. Think about, what does your good look like? A mother found her little boy with colored pencils and paper making a sketch, and when she asked what he was doing, he answered promptly and with considerable pride, "I'm drawing a picture of God." Well, his mother smiled, and being a good metaphysician, she said, "Oh, that's sweet, honey, but you can't really do that. God is infinite. God is the divine spark in you, in everyone. God is love. Nobody knows what God looks like." And her son, without looking up from his drawing, said, "Well, they will in a minute." You know, and he kept envisioning his God, his good. So richness comes from a wealth of abundant mental thinking, mental attitudes, a consciousness of abundance. Remember what we said before, it's a sin to be poor. And many people have said that it's a sin. I mean, how can you look at the universe and say, "I am one with this and I'm poor"? Change your thinking, you know, and sin is not what I was taught as a child. Sin is missing the mark. It's an archery term. If you missed it, go back and rethink that, rephrase it. Realize you're swimming in it, you're unlimited, you're worthy, you're lovable, you're perfect. So just say yes to your good. Thank you.